Because obviously we feel there's purpose in our children because we give time to our children. And there's obviously purpose in going to work because we give time to our work. But at some point, for lack of a purpose in marriage, a purpose in a relationship, a purpose in a partnership, it all falls apart. And we start sending our time and energy elsewhere. And then we're surprised when someone's gone and taken their energy, their attention, their affections, their romance somewhere else. Well, what did we expect? What was exactly holding them here? What purpose was driving them? Because I guarantee it, people, a marriage certificate, a ring on the finger is nothing. That's right, you heard me. It is nothing. Nothing magically happens before you have that ring and certificate and after you have that ring and certificate. If you are making that ring and certificate your purpose for being married, just walk away. Just walk away right now. If you're making having children the purpose for being together, walk away. Because you know what? You can go to a sperm bank and make a child if that's your purpose. Okay? But being in a relationship with another person to have a child and that's it, that's nothing. Because ultimately it's just going to fall flat.
That's true. I mean, it does happen a lot, especially because people, like you're saying, people get committed to the ring, committed to the piece of paper. And I can't do that because now I'm married. I can't ruin that facade type of thing.
Well, I know.
And so I get that's kind of where Tiger went with it.
Yeah. It's that ring means something, like it is purpose in itself. Mm-hmm. Well, it's not. I know people who drown themselves in children.
Yes.
Like literally drown themselves in like multiple children. Because maybe the more children they have, the more stable their relationship's going to be. And so they keep pumping out children. I know people who've got a lot of children. And if they didn't have to support all these children, they would not be together.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's unfortunate to see relationships that lack purpose, that lack drive, that lack intention. And then when they fall apart or when there's a crack or a break or an infidelity, we're all surprised. We're all sitting here going, whoa, how could that have happened? Well, how couldn't that have happened? Mm-hmm. What was in place for that not to happen? Because we're at a day and age now, I believe, that just a ring and a paper are not enough. Because there was once upon a time, I get in our history, where our parents would stay together just because they're married. They could be supremely unhappy and miserable. And you know what? Because we're married, we have to make this work. And we've all seen the results of that. Yeah. So now we're on the other side of the spectrum where relationships are failing because there's no purpose. Uh-huh. Two people are getting married for some reason other than a joint purpose in life. And it is causing breakdown. So I guess for me, the moral of the story, I'm going to get to it right up front here, is if you want to strengthen your relationships, whatever they are, be they marriage relationships or partnerships or even relationships with people at work, find the common purpose. The purpose that drives your reason for showing up day to day. Because without that, you have nothing.
You know, honestly, I get that's really the truth, because a lot of relationships, at least amongst the young people that I've seen, people find each other because of their physical beauty, and they enjoy spending time with each other with this beautiful person and being seen with this beautiful person. But on the sides, they're like, you know, I'm so glad to be away from her. She's such a pain in this, and she's nagging, and then her on the other hand, he doesn't get me. He doesn't want to do the things I want to do. But you know, and then when they're together, they just feel like, I don't know, fireworks for each other. But there's no common purpose. They have no drive, no vision.
Yeah. The only thing that pulls them together is their mutual desire to have sex. And that's when I say, why get married then?
Right.
Just have sex.
Do it.
For God's sake. You know, I am under the impression that, as far as I know, God, divine creator, the universe force, whatever you want to call it, is purpose driven. Mm-hmm. And if we're going to be like that force, we get to be purpose driven. Because I don't get that this God in heaven wants people to abstain from sex because they're not married. Maybe he wants them to abstain from sex because they're not purpose driven together. And it would just be a waste of their time. I mean, why share that intimate moment with someone you're not connected with on an eternal purpose? And believe it or not, having a kid is not an eternal purpose.
No.
That's a result. Because that child's going to have their own drive, their own purpose, their own life reason.
Yes.
I get that there's more to these partnerships. There's a reason for partnerships, which is why denying gays the right to marry is as ludicrous as denying whites and blacks the right to marry to each other. Or as ludicrous as letting women vote. It makes no sense. Because why would anyone stand in the way of two people who want to join their life purposes together and create a greater value as a team? Well, you know what? I don't need a piece of paper to let me do that. I have a relationship that I'm in that is romantic in nature, but I also have relationships that are not romantic in nature. And all my relationships that I choose to keep close to me and to maintain and cultivate are all relationships with a purpose to them. Someone who is in my space because we share a common purpose and we are in relationship together to do that. Because I got a lot of people who show up in my life who do not share my purpose, who do not share my vision. And they come in my life and then they leave my life. And it's fine with me. So there's a recurring cast of characters that shows up. But of the people that I truly cherish as valuable relationships, they're people who I share a common value and purpose with. And so, what?
If anything.
What is there to be taken from the idea that, okay, Tiger Woods had an affair? Where did the breakdown actually happen? Is it that he married someone he doesn't have a driving purpose with? Or did he marry someone with a purpose, a shared purpose, and just let that die and fizzle over time? Because they stopped focusing on it. They stopped making choices from the space of that purpose and that commitment. And as a result, well, I'm going to go find it somewhere else.
And the key thing for me there is, everyone is pinpointing and targeting Tiger for this. But an affair doesn't happen on one side of the relationship. It takes breakdown of two people for the affair to happen.
At least two people.
Yes. And people don't get that, I'm sure his wife is great and amazing, blah, 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 all that stuff. I'm sure she is. But somewhere she disengaged and he disengaged.
And they both equally disengaged to the point that these are the results.
He just chose this as what his next step.
Sure.
And who knows what she chose. Yeah, I mean, hell, she could have chose lucrative shopping experiences
or drowning herself in the children.
Yeah.
Or vacations or whatever. Who knows how she chose to be unfaithful to their joint purpose.
Right.
The end result is, okay, well, there was a breakdown. And maybe their commitment to get through this, quote unquote, according to their press release, is their commitment to rekindle their purpose and to rebuild what drove them together in the first place. And I say more power to them.
That'll be awesome. That'll be the only way that their relationship will actually start working again.
Exactly. That would be value that would come from this. Mm-hmm. Because you know what? Maybe we have to get so far away from our purpose sometimes to recognize, oh my gosh, I'm so far away from what I want to be creating with this person that I have to recommit and get back on that path, or I get to just walk away and find another purpose and commitment.
Yep. I actually have a friend who their relationship was stronger because of infidelity. And they learned oh my gosh, I really want to spend my life with you. Because before, it wasn't great and it was painful and it was tumultuous, and they had the couple kids, and then finally, it happened, and then they decided, you are truly what I want, and this is truly the avenue I want to take. Do you want to join me in this? And